Hey, it's Jase, and welcome to Speakeasy with Jase. It is Tuesday, and boy, a lot has happened since we chatted last. If you don't know, broke my lower leg, the weight-bearing bone in my lower leg. But I got the rods out. I had my second surgery, and so my leg looks like this, and it's much, much better. But I'm going to jump into content that affects you, and it's about what makes you pop on stage and how to really pop, and it's not what you expect. Have you ever seen someone talk and they get on stage and they're just like, maybe the words are good, but something's off, or it's like they're trying. I'll just put it like this. I'm going to be as flat as I can, as straight as I can. I see people speak and they're trying to be cute, or they're trying to look good, or they're trying to be smart, or they're trying to be whatever, and it just doesn't fly. And they don't seem authentic. They don't seem real. They don't seem powerful. They don't seem like someone that you'd want to really listen to. They seem like someone who's trying to do something to be some way in order to be better on stage. And so I've thought a lot about this over the years. What makes someone really pop on stage and what doesn't? And what I've realized is what makes people pop on stage is not a technique. It's not a certain set of clothes, which really help. I mean, the right clothes and colors and shapes and styles can make a huge difference. It's not having the right words. I think the difference between what has someone pop on stage and has someone not pop on stage is really just comes down to one thing. And that one thing is what's going on behind the scenes for them emotionally? What's running the show? Are they on fire with life? Are they excited by life? Are they like truly coming from a place where they can tap into and they're like, yeah, life is good and I'm glad to be here? Or are they coming from this place of, boy, I hope this works, or I hope they think I'm good enough, or I'm going to try and be cutesy in order for them to like me? Um, when I say that, when I'm thinking about this woman I watched last year, she, I don't know who did her outfit, but she had this like, if you took a poodle skirt and you put a frame in it so it stayed out the entire time, like at a 45-degree angle, she's like, boop, boop, boop. It was like a little doll. And it was just so incongruent with her message. And I'm sure she had like 100 friends tell her, oh, your outfit's adorable. Anyway, it kind of grated me. As you could tell, it kind of got under my skin. So anyway, here's the thing for you. If you want to pop on stage, if you want to be someone who's on fire on stage, you have to do you have to do the work to clean out the negative emotions, to get yourself on fire so that you can rock that stage. If you're going to rock a stage, you have to do the background work on your heart so that when you're on stage, all you share is truly your heart. That's what makes all the difference on the stage. Hey, thank you for the likes and the faces. That means a lot, you guys. So I had some thoughts. I went last night. We went to the Dollar Theater and we saw X-Men, the one with sorry, my brain's a little slow still. We saw the X-Men with Phoenix. And there's a whole portion in this movie where they're talking basically, and I'm not going to ruin anything by telling you this, I won't spoil it. There's this part where this little girl has something pretty terrible happen, and instead of dealing with it, Professor X builds up barriers in this little girl's brain so that she doesn't really have to face it. And basically, they bury the pain. And there's a phrase, pain buried alive never dies. I think that's even a book. And it got me thinking about this woman that I knew. She dated my dad, and one day I brought some topic up, and it was either really painful to her or my dad. And later on that day, Robin and I were talking, and to Robin's credit, she would really take the time to like explain how she understood things to me. And she goes, Jace, back then I was Jason. She goes, Jason, people never get over things. People never get over things and leave them behind. And I'm listening to her and I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, people never get over them. That's why you just don't talk about certain things. I was like, huh. It just didn't ring true. And as I started going through my personal development journey, I realized like That's the opposite of what I believe in. I believe, and I've done, gosh, you guys, if you could total up the amount of days and money I've spent going to seminars, workshop, hypnosis, therapy, whatever, all of it, it's all valuable. I've spent so much time going into and grinding in those places that are uncomfortable and looking at those places myself I didn't like and those things about life I didn't like, and like getting to a place where the thing that bothered me, I made peace with it. So either it went away or it quit bothering me, or I got to actually choose and love and accept it. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have other challenges still, because I certainly do. And there's more work to do. And thinking back on what she said, it's the opposite of what I believe. I believe you can overcome anything and everything, and I've seen it. I've seen women overcome, and it doesn't mean there's not some tinge of pain, but it means it doesn't control them like it used to. I've seen women overcome miscarriages, overcome sexual assault. I've seen men overcome the same. I've seen people forgive themselves for horrible things they've done. And we have to do that, guys, because if we don't do it, we're trapped by it. And if we're trapped by anything, then our audience is trapped by it as well. That's why, when people talk about only learn from people who've been there, I really believe that. And it's because when you're listening to a speaker and they're talking about sharing with you how to make a breakthrough or how to get somewhere in life or how to achieve something, if they've done it, they've probably had the commensurate emotional breakthrough that goes with doing it. When you do something, it's not just about what you do, it's how you think and it's how you feel, and it's your subconscious programming that changes as you achieve these things. And I believe if you're going to be someone who models someone else and learning from someone else, it's not enough to just learn the doing. You've got to also learn the thinking and the feeling and the being. That's why in Black Belt, my advanced coaching program, we start their year every year with a 4-day deep, intense, awesome breakthrough course, because we need to shake up and move who they are. Because when we can do that, everything else follows suit. And then it's so much easier for them to change everything else. Also, when we don't do it that way, they can be really difficult to work with. People who've gone through transformation and gone through this kind of work are so much easier to work with. I need to sip. Hold on a second. So, plus, if you never change inside, your outside will keep retracting and returning to the inside that you had. Like the whole lottery example. So, anyway, so back to Phoenix. Had they taken the time to do the deep, hard work of bringing her to peace with what happened, and maybe it could have been hard, and she's a superhero, so maybe it would have been almost impossible because, whatever. But you probably can't, kill people with just your mind. I don't want to go down that road with everything that's gone on big in America with shootings. You could say someone's mind had them pick up a gun, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You probably don't have telekinetic powers. So you have the space and the capacity to move through the conversations that it takes and go through the heartache and the heartache and the pain and the crying to get to a peaceful place. Boy, this has gotten heavy, right? So here's how I'm going to wrap all this conversation up. When you do that, you move the junk out of your heart and you provide the space for the light in your heart to show. It's kind of like if there's mud, if there's a bright light and there's a glass pane and the glass pane is covered in mud, it's really hard to get that bright light to show, and you'd have to do something out here to try and make light show. But instead, if we could take that mud and just wipe it off that glass pane, now that light that's inside you, that is you, can show, and that's what lights up an audience. So the more work you do on your heart, the brighter and the brighter you'll shine. You'll shine brighter, and you'll shine a brighter light, and more of your light will shine, and the audience will grow more. So that's what it really takes, you guys. And poor Robin, I think she died of a broken heart, disappointment and stuff in her family. And, it's difficult when your family and friends and other people don't want to go on the journey. And that's why on this journey, you'll make new friends and you'll lose new friends. But when you find the right people who go on this journey with you, boy, it's magical. And I think you want to grab onto those communities and hang on to them so hard, because finding people who are willing and capable of doing this work isn't just a normal thing. Now, something I will say that I love, and I don't know if it's just window dressing from these young people, these millennials, but like going on Instagram and stuff, I'm seeing more and more people going on what looks like journeys of the heart, and I'm so happy to see them. And it looks like I saw people doing some Wim Hof breathing techniques, which my buddy Troy taught me here in Idaho. I'm seeing people going on journeys not just to go on vacation, but to grow. And it's like personal development is becoming a part of the cultural lexicon, and having a coach as part of community. So it's just wonderful. And I think the more people that wake up, the better this world will get. One time, my friend AJ was doing a hypnosis session on me. And when I was under, something I said was, unconscious people hurt people, meaning people who are asleep to reality, people who don't know what's running the show, people who are reacting to things that happened to them as a child as opposed to understanding what's really pulling their levers. People who are unconscious in that sense, they hurt people because they're not responsible and they don't know what they're really creating in the world, and they're not coming from a powerful place. Whereas conscious people consciously choose to create a better world and to leave the crap behind. So in short, and I'm going to cut it short, you guys, because my leg is still hurting. I get pain, and so it makes it hard to concentrate from long things. If you do have a question, though, post a question and I'll answer it. Hope it'll be. By the way, I love Q&A. I do Q&A with my advanced programs, and I love it when we get good questions coming in at live events and stuff. Like, it's just so much fun. So, post something in the comments, PM me with Q&A, or ask something, and I'll answer it on a future call. Also, I did this live stream from my personal page. Typically, we're going to go from my fan page. So please head over to facebook.com/speakeasy with Jase. That's facebook.com/speakeasy with Jase. And like the page so you'll know about future lives. And Natalie said, incredible wisdom. Thank you, Natalie. That means a lot. I appreciate it. It has been hard won. You know, you guys, I was really lucky. I remember the day so vividly. My dad, um, I was in my early 30s, and he's like, Jase, well, it was Jason back then. I've tried to help you. It just hasn't worked. Here's some money. Maybe you'll find something. He was like so fed up with who I was, and that he gave me this cash. And thank God, because right after that is when I discovered seminars, and I started rolling that into seminars. And then I started making more money in my seminars, and I started doing other stuff and blah, blah, blah. But like, I don't remember if I'd started the personal development journey already and he saw something was working, or, you know, like how that stuff gets muddled. But somewhere early on, he just gave me this cash and allowed me to keep going. On the other hand, though, having too much cash at times made me really debilitated and lazy. So that's why I'm a big believer in, when you have to find the money, you will. And short term, using desire for something as the push to get you moving a business. N.A. Dadwall. I don't know your first name. Is it Dadwall or N.A. is your first name? But my leg, thank you for sending the nice comments about my leg. He says, how's your leg? I wish it is okay now. It's getting better. The rods are out, so I can move it. I went to a movie last night, which is like the longest I've been out of the house. Isn't that crazy, you guys? The longest I've been out of the house in a month is going to a movie. And it's August 6th. I did this thing July 4th. By the way, this is the longest I've gone without a drink, 32 days, because you know, I'm on painkillers and stuff, so I've had nothing to drink. So I'll give you some lessons from this leg, lessons from dealing with this leg. Lesson 1, I just mentioned not drinking. Well, when my leg was okay, Napa and I would get on the bike. Napa would run, I'd ride the bike, and we'd go down to a bar, or really more like a microbrewery. I like a good microbrewery, and we tooled down somewhere and get just 1 or 2 beers, and that was it for the night. And part of me felt guilty about it, like it wasn't okay to do that. And now I'm like, screw that. When my leg gets better, if I want to take Napa and get on my bike and go get a beer, I'm going to get a darn beer. And it's not about getting a beer, it's about there's just a pure physical constraint right now with this thing, and it just hurts sometimes, and it's literally physically limiting. And when I'm to the place I can just say yes to stuff, I want to be like that movie, The Yes Man with Jim Carrey, and just say yes to everything. By the way, if you haven't seen that movie, go rent The Yes Man. I don't care if you got to pay for it. If it's, let me see if The Yes Man by Jim Carrey is available. And go watch it. Yeah, it looks like you got to rent it. iTunes has it for 99 cents, YouTube for $3. Go rent it. It is an awesome flick. But I want to be a yes man. I just want to say yes to everything. Second thing, lesson out of this leg is, oh my gosh, I have so much more compassion for people with physical limitations. Like, it's just everyday stuff. Like, because I got to use my crutches. So I can go in the kitchen and I can get myself planted. And if I can reach the bread and I can reach the stuff to make a sandwich with, I can do it. Otherwise, I have to crutch to get the meat or the peanut butter or whatever. And then I got to crutch over here to put it down. Then I got to crutch over there for a knife. Then I got to crutch back and put the knife down. Then I got to crutch over here for paper towels. Then I got to crutch over here and put them down. And then I can make everything. But then throwing everything away is a hassle because it's hard to hold the stuff while you're crutching. It just, there's a pure physical limitation to it. And so it really has given me so much more compassion for people who have dealt with stuff like this in the past. I have so much more appreciation for athletes who've broken a leg or something and then come back from it. Like, I think about people who, these athletes I've seen that maybe tore an ACL, like the right ACL, and they rehab for a year. The next year they tear their left one. I don't know how they come back from that. And I don't want to learn it. I don't want to break another leg. I'm good. I want to just appreciate them from afar. So it's just been really just a lot more compassion for people and a lot more appreciation for people. And then what else? Just it's been great to have support. And Diane, my assistant, oh my gosh, you guys, she has been a dream. She came across at a perfect time to help the business. But then personal wise, she's been like cooking for me and stuff and it's been amazing. Side note, it has been really interesting who has and hasn't been around on a personal note. Like there's been friends who say they'd be around and they haven't. Maybe they're waiting to be asked. And honestly, I think I've talked about this on a live before. I haven't put out the vibe like I want a bunch of people around because I really just wanted to hermit up. But like to just be asked or texted or hey, how you doing? It's making me look at, man, am I a crappy friend the rest of the time? Because some of my friends I expected to be a certain way really haven't shown up the way I expected. And then other people have, which is really interesting. Someone left me a voicemail today, Kim, who reached out as she saw I was going through this. And I haven't talked to her for probably 10 plus years. And she's called and reached out multiple times. It's been very interesting, like virtual friends who've reached out and real life friends who has and who hasn't. And it's honestly, part of it's been disappointing. So it's making me look at, how am I coming across? Or do people just not know what would be helpful to people who are in my situation? So it makes me realize if someone's going through this, by the way, if you know someone who's going through something like this, don't wait to be asked for something. Just do something nice for them or just call and say hi and don't be like, what happened? Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't tell you how boring it is to be asked what happened. It's like, except one guy asked me what happened, and then he said, yeah, I broke my leg in a car accident. And then we kind of got to share it because he kind of knew my pain and he knows where I'm coming from. That was nice. But otherwise, like, it's just boring. It's boring to ask it. It's boring to answer it. And who cares? And just show up, do something. Just pop by, say hi, bring a soda, bring a, Troy came by one day and he brought like some smoothies and stuff. And it was just such a nice surprise. Just do something. As opposed, thanks, Jamie. Jamie just said, I love you and would love to connect. Thanks. So my tip is, if you have someone going through this, they're not in a mental state to ask and they don't want to ask. And I think probably if other people are going through what I am, part of me is like, I'm hurting and so I'm not the best company and I'm not the best entertainment, but it still means something if someone like makes a gesture. Do you know what I mean? So just make a gesture, do something. By the way, here's my other shirt. I don't think you guys have seen this shirt. I don't know if you could, here. This one also says, I do my own stunts, but this one's a little more real to the picture. This one's a little more true graphical representation of what happened. So anyway, so that's and then other lessons from this leg thing. Um, there's something around just permission to do what I want and what I not do what I don't want. Like has really come up. Like I've really got limited energy in the day rather than um, feeling like I have unlimited energy. So I'm like, I'm going to do the stuff that's important or that I want to do, and I'm going to leave the other stuff behind with no guilt. And then the final thing is I have right now doing a speaking gig and traveling cross country would be really hard. Like we were in the movies last night and it was just a 2 hour movie, but boy, I was squirming a lot. I had to put my leg up over the. Luckily, like the armrest went up and there's no one next to me, so I could put my leg up on the chair. I don't think I could fly cross country right now without a ton of pain. So um, it's just difficult. And I have a mastermind I'm supposed to go to next week, and I'm not sure if I'm going to make it because it's in Atlanta, and it's one of my favorite business trainings I go to every year. So the last lesson I have for me is when this thing's better, man, talk about ankle weights or the cuffs coming off, a whole nother level of freedom and like travel and enjoyment and speaking is coming for me because it's making me realize how much I do love to be in the right groups of entrepreneurs and communities of people who are going for it, seminars and workshops and personal growth. And I'm looking for what's the next really high level personal growth I can take to get deeper onto who I am so I could be, have more of the life I want, be more of a gift to this world, and then but really like people who have mastered an area of life. And then also speaking wise, oh my gosh, I am so excited to start speaking on more stages and sharing and making a difference in the world because it's been really hard right now and it'll be really fun when I can. So this is Jase. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's Speakeasy with Jase. So today we did it from my fan page, from my personal page, but please tool over to my fan page, facebook.com, Speakeasy with Jase, and like it so you'll know when we're going live in the future. Thanks for your likes and comments. And if you think it's appropriate and you know some people who this kind of training would be good for, please share the stream with them. Either tag them in the comments or share it to their page. Love you guys. Bye. Thanks so much.